Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead All-Stars video, and in this video we're going to be going over the new personal gear items that have been added to the game. It's going to be for the bystanders, and we're going to go through all of these characters, checking out their personal gear, just seeing how effective it's going to be on them as characters and which one basically I think is the best. So let's get into it. So first up we've got Tyreese. I'm going to check out his personal item straight away, and it's his hammer. During combat, when the immortal effect ends, recovers 15% of max HP, and it's going to be instantly by the sounds of things as well. It's an instant recover. So building high HP on this character is going to be quite important. He also has inbuilt lifesteal, so he can lifesteal during the immortal sort of like effect and then instantly gain 15% at the end. When you get it to plus 10, which is pretty straightforward to get, it does a 30% instant heal instead. If you get it to 20, the duration of immortal effect is increased by 1 second, which doesn't seem like much. I think that's going to be 30% total, not 45%. They don't add together. The duration of immortal effect is increased by 1 second. That doesn't sound like much, but it already seems to last for ages, and it only lasts for like 5 seconds or something, I think. During combat, when the immortal effect ends, obtains a shield equal to 50% max HP for 7 seconds. Now, that means he's got a 30% heal plus a 50% of max HP shield, which is basically like a heal in itself. And that gives the opportunity for support characters to throw in heals while he's in that state. He can't go into immortal effect a second time, but you guys know what Tyreese can be like. That can be brutal. The actual stats on the item as well are attack 18%, HP 9%. So the two of the main stats for him seemingly gets a little bit of lifesteal. I think bystanders are going to get quite a lot of lifesteal and then accuracy. So I mean, this makes sense to me. This is a good item, and it works for Tyreese pretty well in my opinion. So that's nice. I like that for Tyreese. Okay, next up is Tylor. What I want to see with Tylor is like either more crit or he can do his things faster. You know, like speed, energy, crit. Those are three things that I think will make him useful on his personal gear. During combat, when using returning knife, 50% chance to reduce the skill's cooldown by 40% for 5 seconds. So he's going to be able to do that more often. At 10, during combat, increases chances of Tylor raising his own speed with returning knife by 10%. And then during combat, when using returning knife, 50% chance to reduce the skill's cooldown by 70% for 5 seconds. And then during combat, increases chances of Tylor raising his own speed with returning knife by 30%. So it's just a massive boost to returning knife. He is getting attack, defense. He's getting a massive defense buff. But it's in attack, defense, lifesteal, and accuracy. I believe this is returning knife. Throws a pocket knife in front, dealing 250% attack as damage to all enemies within range. 50% chance to increase speed by 60% for 4 seconds after successfully activating this skill. This obviously is going to get boosted quite massively with his personal item. That's kind of cool. Like, it's almost giving it a level 4 and level 5 on a particular skill because of the personal item. I don't think that's terrible. It's increasing his speed as well, or more likeliness to increase his speed, and I think that was what I was talking about when I was saying what I want to see on Tylor, to be honest. Yumiko's item. Let's have a little look at what Yumiko is going to have. She's going to get it straight off the bat, of course, as soon as you get her to legendary. During combat, when an ultimate skill lands on an enemy, 50% to trigger the poisoned arrow effect. So you're actually going to poison people with the ultimate once you get her to legendary. That is actually going to be really good because she has an AoE ultimate, and you know, that's pretty good. She hits everybody, so 2 to 3 characters are generally going to get poisoned a lot of the time. When an ultimate skill lands on an enemy, 60% trigger the poison arrow effect, and that's going to be on plus 10. At plus 20, it's going to be 80% chance to do it, and then at 30, it's when using the ultimate skill adds 2 arrows. So that potentially means 2 more, like, shots. That is a massive boost to her ultimate, honestly. And her ultimate is already good. And you saw me using it before. I was prioritizing the ultimate by putting the item in her hands to get the ultimate off as quickly as possible. This is a big boost. This is a big boost. If we check out what the ultimate base is, it says moves to the middle of the comrade position and shoots 3 arrows in the shape of a cone 3 times. So that means it would shoot 5 arrows in the shape of a cone 3 times. The arrows penetrate through all enemies in their path, dealing 240% attack as damage, reduces the first victim's attack by 30%. But then it would also, once fully maxed out, have an 80% chance to poison the enemy as well. And this is the effect that it could potentially trigger, where it, you know, shoots a poisoned arrow, dealing 60% attack as damage. The hit target receives 40% attack as damage per second. I think it's the second half of that it potentially will trigger. But you never know. It could just be an actual poisoned arrow bonus on top. So her ultimate output is going to be nuts. Really tiered up. This actually looks really, really good. Now we have the Eugene. And Eugene, I think, is really good. I think he's a good support character. I can't really think what they could do. I mean, if they enhance some of his skills, that could be good. But we'll just check out what it does. On entering combat, summons a scarecrow behind enemies with the highest attack, taunting nearby enemies for 3 seconds. That is actually so powerful. He instantly summons a scarecrow now. He instantly does it. That is so good. That is so good. Normally it's after like 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds that he can do it. But he'll instantly do it, then do it after 5-10 seconds again. On the 10 upgrade, it says on entering combat, throws a recovery pack at the comrade with the lowest defense, healing the HP of all nearby comrades. And that doesn't include the skill where he does that too. So there'll be 2 healing packs down very early on in the fight. That is actually really good as well. Increases the recovery pack range, so it just has a better area of effect. When using an ultimate skill, summons a scarecrow behind one random enemy. So it's like increased his ultimate to actually summon a scarecrow as well. He's going to be so good when he's fully maxed out. This guy is going to be so good. And honestly, really annoying to deal with. Those scarecrows are hard to take down. Like, really hard to take down. He's also getting big boost to defense and HP on this as well. 27%, 18%. And some decent speed, so I think this is a really good item for him. I can't really think of much else that would have been better for him. The scarecrows are honestly one of the more frustrating parts of his kit to deal with when you attack him. And the heals are one of the best things about him when you use him. So, yeah, that's actually kind of nuts. Like, this is the extra medical supply that he can throw at any point during the fight. This isn't going to be the one that he does when he comes into the fight. So he'll do the one when he comes into the fight. Then he'll also do medical supplies here, which will be another one on top. And then we also have a distraction scarecrow that he'll pull up at random points as well. But this is not the one that he'll pull up when he does his ultimate or when he moves into the fight. So he's just adding more scarecrows and adding more heals. Like, the 2 things that I think are the best parts of his kit was the scarecrows and the heals. And he's doing both of those again. Like, just more often. Like, straight away at the beginning of the fight, both of them. And then on the ultimate, he does another scarecrow. Yeah, Eugene is looking pretty nasty with this, actually. Like, I think Eugene was underrated before, but surely you've got to rate this guy now with all this. This is really good. Okay, we have George. And George, I would like to see some sort of way he can stop being controlled. Or shields. Or some sort of, like, self-sustain. You know, keep him alive longer. Damage reduction, you know, basically good things for tanks. Let's have a little look. Energy obtained by 30% when hit by distant enemies. So if he's hit by like ranged attacks, he gets energy quicker. And then at the 10, it increases energy obtained by 30% when hit by nearby enemies. So if you get it to 10, he's just constantly going to get 30% extra energy from being hit. So I guess he's not going to have more sustain, but he will be able to get more energy to do his ultimate more often when he does tank. And then when hit, energy obtained increased to 50%. So overall, those 2 things should increase to 50% too. And then on the last upgrade, after using an ultimate skill, reduces the chances of receiving a crit hit from enemies by 80% for 5 seconds. That's actually not too bad, as he will be ulting reasonably often because of the energy gain increase. And obviously to have a good idea of what you're basically trying to make happen more often is his ultimate instantly moves to the enemy closest to comrades, knocking back all enemies in a straight line. This skill deals damage 5 times, doing 70% attack as damage each time. It's more of just like a protection skill against your teammates who are already maybe in trouble a little bit. So he's going to be doing this more often. There are upsides and downsides to this, in my opinion. Like, if you put him on one side of the battlefield and you want him to be there, he can potentially just like launch the other side, and he will generally launch the other side of the battlefield to protect somebody. And that somebody could be a tank who's already okay. So there are upsides and downsides to it. But he will just be jumping around a lot, potentially, because of this. I'm not so sure about this one compared to some of the other ones like Eugene and stuff like that. It's just so powerful. But I would have liked to have seen more like survivability or like more control. I mean, I guess he is doing this more often, but it's not as amazing as like Eugene's and Yumiko's, for instance. Okay, now we have Big Boy Mercer. I have actually put this on my character already. I just didn't check what it had on purpose because I wanted to check these out later on. So let's check out what he has. And it is a nice little like blade, as you can see. It gives attack, defense, HP, and life steal. Okay, so it's giving some, you know, all stats. During combat, once the number of fighting spirit stacks has been reached, gradually recovers 5% max HP every second for 5 seconds. When you get to 10, it does, once the number of fighting spirit stacks has reached, gradually recovers 5% HP every second for 10 seconds. And then it goes up again to 15 seconds. That's actually pretty crazy, because then he's going to be getting, what, is that 75% of his max HP over 15 seconds? And the last buff, very, very small text here, says, once the number of fighting spirit stacks has been reached, Mercer's attack increases by 1% each second, stacks up to 50 times. This effect lasts until the end of combat, so you can get an extra 50% attack from this. So basically, he seems to be a character that if the fight goes on for too long, Mercer starts to get absolutely just crazy powerful. Crazy, crazy powerful. That is interesting. We'll look at the spirit stacks so we understand how that works. So fighting spirit stacks up to 10 times, giving 4% attack each time, which would be 40% attack. And then obviously he'd get the extra 50% over 50 seconds on top. So it'd be 40% attack plus 50% attack. Plus he's going to be getting the heals. And then don't forget, he also gets shields because of Unstoppable when he gets controlled in a certain way. Every 5 seconds, he can just give himself a shield. So, yeah, Mercer's going to be absolutely brutal. Now, there are some stages I've come up against on campaign that had Mercer on, and he didn't have the item on because it didn't exist, but now it does. I wonder if they're going to add the item, and then he's going to be, like, absolutely nuts there. We'll have to see. Next up is Lake Personal Gear. He gets attack, defense, HP, crit rate. That's kind of nice that he's getting crit rate. He's not getting lifesteal, for instance. If a shock bomb hits an enemy during combat, Lake attack increases by 10%, stacks up to 5 times, so he can get 50% attack. Then at grade 10, it gets increased to 15%, stacking up to 5 times, so that would be 75%. And then at 20, it stacks up to 4 times, but 25% each stack, so up to 100% extra attack every time he does his shock bomb. But his shock bomb does become AoE, so if he hits 4 characters with his shock bomb, does he just get instantly 100% attack? I mean, I guess so. And then lastly, it says, once the number of attack stacks has been reached, the cooldown for shock bomb is reduced by 50%, so he'll just be spamming his shock bomb. So this is kind of like Tylor, where one of his skills is just going to be massively boosted. And this is the shock bomb skill. Throws a shock bomb at an enemy to deal 180% attack as damage, stunning them for 2 seconds. But with the upgrades, it gets upgraded to 200%. And it also deals damage to all enemies within the shock bomb's explosion radius, stunning them for 2 seconds. And then the damage gets increased to 220%. So if you have it fully maxed out, you're doing a 220% AoE. And if it hits, you know, 4 characters straight away, that means he surely just gets the full benefit of his personal gear instantly. And then the cooldown of this gets minus 50%, and he's just going to be spamming this like non-stop. That's actually kind of nuts as well. I think that's one of the most terrifying things to have to deal with, again, in campaign and stuff, is, you know, 1 or 2 lakes. Those stages where they just throw the shock bomb at a group of your team. And you're just decimated. So it's just massively buffed this. It's given it basically a 5 and a 6 upgrade, pretty much. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8, basically, but yeah. So now we have Scott, and his item is going to be... What is this? I don't even know what that is. Is that like a... Is that a watch? It looks like a watch as a personal item. He's going to get attack, defense, HP, and lifesteal. During combat, when prime target is activated, reduces damage received from enemies by 40% for 5 seconds. So he's going to become tankier. Okay. During combat, when prime target is activated, reduces damage received from enemies by 60% for 5 seconds. So it just increases it. And then when prime target is activated, become immune to CC for 5 seconds. How early in the fight can he activate it? We'll have to check out. And then the duration increases to 7 seconds. So it'll be... I guess it would be... the damage reduction and the CC would be increased to 7 seconds. Prime targets his passive. Okay, during combat, if there is an enemy with 40% or lower HP, Scott changes his basic attack stance, attacking the enemy until it dies. While in the new stance, Scott attack increases by 30% and lifesteal by 40%. So then it would also basically mean that he's going to get 60% damage reduction plus immune to CC when this happens. So he's just going to be in like, you know, like blinders on mode, where he'll just see a character below 40% HP and he's just going to home in on them, take less damage, can't be controlled, and actually just annihilate one character. He could potentially just start rolling around your entire team, basically. And last, we have Chloe, who I actually like a lot. I just don't have her very high tier, so we'll see what she gets as a boost. She gets attack, defense, but a bigger boost to HP, but she gets a boost to evasion, which is kind of nice. She's more of a support character. When basic attacks and airborne explosion land as a crit hit, deals additional AoE damage equal to 50% attack. Additional damage increases to 70%. Additional damage increases by 90%. And then the last one at plus 30, it's during combat, enemies weakened by sulfur attack receive damage equal to 2% of their current HP every second for 10 seconds. So if they're at max HP, that would be 20% of their HP. But if they're at like 50%, that would be 10% of their max HP. Obviously, that becomes worse the weaker they become. But this is like an additional thing on top of whatever it already does. So airborne explosion and sulfur attack are the ones that get boosted. Airborne explosion throws a firecracker at the enemy with the most energy, dealing 150% attack as damage to all enemies within range. Then it goes up to 170% attack, and then it stuns the target for 2 seconds, and then it gets increased to 190% attack. But I'm pretty sure with her personal gear that gets boosted up to 280% attack. Right? An extra 90% attack on top. When she does this. Let's just double check. Oh, it has to crit. Deals additional AoE damage. Okay. On a crit hit, it does AoE. Man, if she crits, that changes to an AoE rather than a single target. And the AoE damage can go up to 90%. And then her sulfur does 2% of the enemy's current HP per second for 10 seconds. I think this goes off early in the fight, right? So it's actually going to be pretty effective on the first time she does it. It generally goes off in the first like 5-10 seconds because it's one of her first skills. So and it hits everybody, right? Reduces accuracy, speed for all enemies on the battlefield. And this is really good, going to be nuts against like walker teams where it's got like, you know, 10 walkers rolling around. She's going to do 20% of their max HP. She's also going to, or 20% of their current HP, she's still going to slow them, accuracy down, all that good stuff. The duration of this lasts for 10 seconds, and the duration of the other one would last for 10 seconds on the personal gear as well. So after going through all of the personal gear items, I think that Eugene is going to be absolutely cracked, guys. He's going to be nuts. On that campaign stage, I didn't ever come up against one with a personal gear item early on. He's going to be having those in early stages now. Those scarecrows are annoying. They can also get healed by his packs and everything. Very annoying indeed. I think Lakes is pretty good. I think that Yumiko's is good. I like Tyreese. I like Mercer. And I also think that Chloe's could be pretty good too. I think those are probably like the top 5, 6 for me out of these characters. If you have any of these that like kind of stand out to you, which one you're happiest in seeing getting a nice item, let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you actually use any of these characters already and now they're getting a bit buff for you. Like I say, let me know in the comments any feelings you have about the Bystander Personal Gear editions. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.